Hi guys, happy Sunday. Welcome once more to our YouTube channel. This is Havila School of Marriage by
Way.
Dr. and Dr. Mrs. Crysantus and Linda Nzometia. It's such an honor for us to have you here. If this is your first time, you're so welcome. Grab a seat and enjoy this amazing video.
Wow.
We began an amazing series last week on the power of agreement in marriage and relationships. Today, we'd like to take it a bit further. I would like to talk about something very important. In short, one of the aspects that causes disagreement in relationships and marriage, especially. Today, we're going to be talking about.
Why do couples disagree financially?
Hmm,
Wow. Because if we don't do this, I will just talk about the power of agreement. You
that's
will still
right.
find yourself disagreeing with your partner. So, we want to break it down to show you the areas in which couples disagree. And in the course of it, we'll also share our testimony a little bit
Oh, yes.
to make you understand better and practically how to solve this problem. All right, sweetheart. So when couples meet each other, people meet each other in courtship, what is usually the issues at hand? We have spoken about finances.
Yes.
So we want to see how to diagnose the couples financially. So how do we do this diagnosis? Actually, when they come together, when you meet your life partner, somebody you love, somebody you want to get married to, or you're already married to, you need to diagnose the person and yourself too. Because if you don't know who you are when it comes to finance, there will always be problems.
That's right.
In the couple or in a relationship or among the married, you have there's someone that will be less accountable than the other. As to that.
Financially.
Yeah, so what do you say about this one?
Generally, I think that God does that so that one can complement each other because in a relationship, like we saw last time, we are there to complement one another. Generally, there's always one person who is a little bit more extravagant financially than the other.
Yeah, so this is another one where you have the waster and the gatherer. There is the one who is a financial waster, is extravagant. He wants to spend extra. Maybe you ask him for 10,000, he'll give you 12,000. Or you tell him to go and buy something for 2,000, he will go and buy another thing for 1,000. Or when you want to give out money to somebody, the person asks for 10,000, he wonder you should give 15,000.
Mm.
That's the waster. That's the financial waster. The financial waster is the spending type. He wants to spend. He wants to buy the nice car. He wants to be a very big house. He wants to go for a trip to Dubai, to Mauritius Island, to big places. Why the gatherer wants to invest,
That's
wants to
right.
save, and so on. When they want to give help to somebody, the gatherer wants it to be exact. The waster wants it to be more because he thinks that it's not enough, and so on and so forth. So, besides that, we also have so that the backgrounds,
Yes,
the
very important.
backgrounds of the couples.
Where you're coming from, especially if you're coming from a place where there was plenty, there was abundance, and you're already used to spending, used to buying, used to a lot of materialism, and then you enter a space, or you enter somebody's space who doesn't share that same background with you, somebody who is more conservative financially, both with him or herself and even those outside, there's going to be some hinges.
Yeah, or who came from a struggling background.
Yes,
The
yes,
person came from a poor background, he struggled to have what he has.
yes.
So he values it. But to you, you feel that is nothing. But he value his 1,000 francs like a million.
That's
You
right.
came from a family where they were counting the billions or in millions. And then you are seeing 1 million, you
1
are
million.
despising him. Meanwhile, his 1 million to him is like 1 billion.
That's right.
And so you are not understanding why he wants you people to spend, to measure what you are buying and so on. And him is not understanding why you want that all the money should finish now. So you need to make this diagnosis of yourself. Who is the one who is less accountable?
That's right.
Who does not want to give all the accounts of what he has at hand, or he or she has, or that he or she has spent? Who is the one who wants to spend more? And who is the one who wants to save? Who is the one who came from a background where he struggled to become something, and who is the one who came from the background where they already was already exposed to abundance.
That's
This
right.
diagnosis is primordial to managing your finances.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the marriage now, you have the one who say, I want to help people, I want to have an orphanage, I want to give to people. The person has money, he wants to give to
Also, was
people and stay
fun.
hungry, even with the family. And then you have the one who say, who thinks that his family suffered so much for him, he wants to help his family. He forgets now that he has his own family, now that he has to now think of what to do for his family and not work everything and send to his family. Sometimes even hide from your partner to do it. And so it brings a lot of hinges in the marriage. And sometimes you start misquoting your partner that maybe your partner is selfish
That's
or your
right.
partner does not want to help,
Mm-hmm.
does not want to assist people
Mm-hmm.
because of you are a waster. You are thinking people, you are not thinking yourself too.
Mm-hmm.
Because want to prevent a situation, one will share with you very soon. So when you enter in a marriage and you make this diagnosis, for example, so that how do we solve our problem? I am a financial waster. I'm the one that wants to spend, and then my wife thinks that we should invest. We should invest, which is right. I think that I'll invest later. So growing up with early responsibilities I was given, I thought I focused so much on people that at some point I began to forget my own self. So it became something. And when she entered my life, she started bringing order. We were people, but we also think about ourselves. And it took us some time to understand that. So
That's right.
what do you think about this? When we now discover that one is the waster and one is the gatherer, you are the gatherer and the waster. So how do we solve that problem?
Um, the first thing that you did, of course, as a head, was that you put me in charge of the finances, which was really amazing. So we'll take the decisions together, but I'm the one that will generally execute. Okay, this is what we'll do, this is what I think. And most of the times, before we even sit down to decide on what we're going to do, I'll come up with a plan, a suggested proposal for how we can spend whatever we have at hand. These are the needs that we have, and this is how I think that we should distribute them. And I'll present it to him, and we'll have a discussion, and then we'll have an agreement on what we should do. Some of the things that are proposed will be accepted, some will be modified, and some may be rejected. The one thing that I did is I was open to allow him to decide, of course, as the head, what we should do as far as our finances are concerned. But the fact that we're able to agree and come to a compromise at each stage was very important, and it helped us to be able to manage our finances better. We didn't conserve too much and we didn't waste. So
This is so important because the man must be able to recognize where the wife is gifted
yes.
and drop his ego.
Mm,
And the wife must be submissive enough to think that she's no more intelligent than the husband. It's a quality God gave.
yes.
That's why He brought you together to
Mm,
achieve perfection.
can say that
So you
again.
realize who you are and you submit or you humble yourself. Now, you see couples today having separate bank accounts because one refuses to be accountable totally. You enter a marriage, you realize that you are not financially accountable. And then you meet a woman or a man that you have to start sharing everything with, and you think that the person is asking for too much to know why you are spending. No, you met somebody and you say you are one. If you are indeed one, then why do you keep hiding what you are spending from the person? Because you have close financial wasters who spend behind and they don't tell their partner exactly what they did with the money.
Mm-hmm.
But when you do that, you put your family at risk, in a great risk that we are going to show you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you are spending it for the interest of the family, why should you hide it? And because of that, some people out of frustration, they say, okay, let's have separate bank accounts. You have your own expenditures, I have mine. Some enter a marriage, they think that their own family is more important than their spouses. Both families are important. Both of them invested in your lives. Both of them suffered for you. So you will not be taking care of them in hiding. You have to sit together as one, as a couple, and decide what to do with them as you focus on your own family too.
Oh yes.
This is so important. This is so
Very, very
important.
important.
As with that.
Key
So,
points.
so what is the wisdom here? What is the wisdom here? Because we want to show you something to avoid, and then we'll show you how to handle the situation. I would like you to read Second Kings chapter 4. Second Kings chapter 4, read from verse 1.
A certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets cried out to Elisha, saying, your servant, my husband, is dead, and you know that your servant feared the Lord, and the creditor is coming to take my two sons to be his slave. So Elisha said to her, what should I do for you? Tell me, what do you have in the house? And she said, your maidservant has nothing in the house but a jar of oil.
This is okay. I just wanted them to know something. This is a man of God who served people, who had a church, and then he died. Before dying, he took a debt. Bible says a borrower is servant to the lender. He took a debt, and then he had nothing as shorty, and they had to shorty his two children. That was his own shorty. Some people use land, some people use houses to as shorty, but he shorty his children. So his creditor was coming to take his children. This is a man of God. Because some of us, when we are doing those things to people, we have this deception that when we die, they will come and take care of our own children, our own family. Everybody has their own needs. By the time your children have needs, they too have needs. And sometimes if they are not available, you start thinking that they are ungrateful, you suffered for them, they are not remembering you. The wisdom is this. A pastor who took care of people died and his children were taken as shorty. His wife, a widow, they were dying of hunger. Thank God for the intervention of the man of God. Really? Maybe because the pastor was a waster. He kept on doing this and that, giving here, giving there. Who even know what did he do with that debt? If he invested it, maybe it would have produced something to pay back the loan.
That's right.
You see, but I don't think he did. He surely wasted it in giving here and there or in sowing here and there without thinking. And then he died and his family was in misery. Maybe it was a man who was not accountable to his wife. Or maybe he died and there was an account somewhere his wife did not know and they were perishing. So this thing we are giving you is a lifetime wisdom that you must apply now, from now on, in your marriage. I'll also show you another situation in 1 Kings chapter 17. We'll read verse 9 to 12. 1 Kings chapter 17, verse 9 to 12.
1 Kings chapter 17 from verse 9. Arise, go to Zarephath, which belongs to Sidon, and dwell there. See, I have commanded a widow there to provide for you. So he arose and went to Zarephath. And when he came to the gate of the city, indeed, a widow was there gathering sticks. And he called to her and said, please, bring me a little water in a cup that I may drink. Verse 11. And as she was going to get it, he called to her and said, please, bring me a morsel of bread in your hand. So she said, as the Lord your God lives, I do not have bread, only a handful of flour in a bin and a little oil in a jar. And see, I am gathering a couple of sticks that I may go in and prepare it for myself and my son, that we may eat it and die.
Can you imagine? A man died, left a widow behind and a child, and they were about to die of hunger. What was this man doing? He was surely a waster. That's why we have the syndrome of widows today. Widows associations. People who have to be taking care of widows here and there because of men who are wasters. Or maybe they were the widows themselves were the wasters. And they were not accepting that they should invest. They thought that the husband is not caring for them. If he's not taking them, buying them big cars, if he's not taking them to very big places and so on and so forth. And so if the man is trying to please them, did all those things and died leaving behind nothing, and they remain in misery. So we want to avoid this situation so that this syndrome stops. We are here in Havila to build glorious marriages and live a transgenerational legacy. Don't leave this earth and live a miserable family because of financial unaccountability, because of financial wastage, because you have refused to be delivered from your background. To know that you now have a new family, you have to build. You have to build intentionally. So how do you solve this problem? The first is that you should prioritize investment in your marriage. Prioritize investment.
See that again.
And this investment is first on yourselves. You can invest to upgrade yourself so that you have more income. You can invest in your children. You can invest to remain better. Sometimes you think that it's only the orphans that should eat good food. orphanages. You should also eat good food in your house. Cook good food for your children. Because when your children discover that you have money and they are not living well, they will become wayward. That's one reason why many children go wayward, because their parents neglect them, thinking that they have to spend for others and other situations.
Yes.
Prioritize the children's education, their children's life. Let them live like kings and queens in your house. They are your children. Nobody will take care of them better than you. Know that.
That's
Know
right.
that from today. Prioritize your nuclear family. Your nuclear family is your wife, your children. They are your priority. After God, that is your priority. Your wife, your children. Prioritize your future. Think about this. Very important. The second is that spend carefully and spend on what is important. What is important?
Yes.
Doesn't mean that you should
It's
not have
important.
outings, you should not have that. You need
No,
recreational
no.
activities. You need it, but it should be purposeful. Don't have the habit that any small money you have, you must make a
Wow.
trip to one touristic site, or you must make a trip to one hotel, or you must go to one beach here and there. You can do that, but it should not become a norm. That you
That's
have not
right.
yet invested, you have not yet secured your legacy, your destiny. You're already wasting like that, living as if there is no tomorrow. The third thing is that give to those who are in need, not to everybody. Give to those who are in need, not to everybody. You understand? Very important. Now, Proverbs, in Proverbs chapter 3, verse 27 to 28. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 27 to 28.
Let me read it.
Because when we talk like this, some people think that we don't want them to give. No, we are great givers talking like this. But we have learned this wisdom. Yes.
Proverbs 3:27. Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it is in the power of your hand to do so. 28. Do not say to your neighbor, go and come back, and tomorrow I will give it, when you have it with you. Verse 29.
No, it's okay. Only verse 29.
Okay.
Don't withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it is in the power of your hand. What if it is not in the power of your hand? Don't borrow and give. If it is not in the power of your hand, tell them that there is nothing. Be honest. Because most of this thing that lands us in indebtedness, in financial challenge, because we are afraid of what people will say. We are afraid of people's accusation, especially our family members. We are afraid of it. So you have to borrow to help people. You have to borrow to give to people. You have to give to people and sleep hungry, and your children are crying on your ears because you are afraid of what people will say. Watch out about this.
Oh, yes.
If you have it with you, give. But if you don't have, tell them in honesty that you don't have. Sometimes people see you appearing very rich outside, but you are even the one in need. Be honest enough to tell them that you have needs now.
That's it.
They know that if you have, you give, but now like this is not. And if you have money you have saved in the bank to maybe to buy a property or something, that is not money you have to give to people. It's money to invest. It's money to invest. Don't start touching it. The only person that can cause you to remove it is God. That God instructs you that take this money and do this. And if he's saying so, it's because he has kept a greater one to replace it.
Oh, yes.
You understand? This is so important. Verse 28.
Do not say to your neighbor, go and come back, and tomorrow I will give it, when you have it with you.
If you have it with you, give. If you don't have it with you, and you are sure that you have it tomorrow, tell your neighbor to go and come back. If you are not sure to have it tomorrow, tell your neighbor to go and not come back. You see another person. The person will help. The person will help. When time will come for you to assist, you will do it.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes people accuse you that they help you here. They have had a situation, you have not helped them. The time they had that situation, you did not have it with you. And be honest, another situation will come up in their life that you will be there.
Oh, yes.
And some of them who were angry will start saying, I see. So be stable enough to allow people to misunderstand you. And when there is time that you can show it, do it.
Oh, yes.
And they will understand. It's very important. Very important. Give to those who are in need. There were widows in Israel, but God sent Elijah to the widow of Zarephath because she was the one that had need. Don't just see somebody who appears as if they have needs and you start running to assist. Sometimes they don't even need it. Sometimes they'll trample it underfoot.
Yes.
When you do it, they'll think I insult you. I even tell you that it's too small.
Yes, you can see that. Okay.
The other one, agree before embarking on a project.
Very
the next
important.
one, agree with your partner before embarking on a project. Some of the heavy losses we have had in families because we did not listen to our partners. we went ahead because we're so sure. Sometimes we even ignore our partners and we go back to friends or family. And at the end, we find ourselves crying and we are the ones suffering, not the people.
That's right.
Last but not the least, agree before helping or assisting or honoring people, especially your parents. I said both families are important, both parents are important. They assisted you. When it comes to honoring them, you agree on what to do for them.
Yes.
Do it regularly. Don't go behind. Don't hide to do it. It's not healthy. Okay? So as we close this, I'll hand over to my beautiful wife to conclude, and then we'll see you next week for another important point on why couples disagree.
Oh yes, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. I'm sure that you've been so blessed by this video. Please leave a comment. You can tell us which domain do you disagree the most in your relationship. Maybe what we'll talk about next week, and it's going to be a blessing to you. And of course, light will be thrown on that solution, on that situation, and you have a solution on how to go about it. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to comment. And of course, share the video to as many people as you can. That's how they can be blessed by this amazing content that we have. Thank you. God bless you.
Indeed.